Every society pretends it despises social climbers. We mock them in novels, sneer at them in gossip, whisper about them at dinners. But the truth is this: social climbing is not shameful. It is survival. Men wrote their codes of war and politics. Machiavelli gave rulers their playbook. Sun Tzu trained generals. Kings and bankers left manuals of empire and finance. Women were given nothing. No public handbooks, no written guide. Yet women climbed anyway. They invented their own secret manual, not written on paper, but practiced in salons, in boudoirs, in courts and corridors of power. It was whispered, passed from courtesan to courtesan, from queen to lady-in-waiting. The Social Climber's Bible. This book is not about luck. It is not about being the most beautiful, the richest, or the most charming. It is about strategy, the art of turning nothing into everything, the path from invisibility to untouchability. History remembers women who began as nobodies, peasants, orphans, foreigners, and rose to command kings, bend empires, and live forever in legend. They were called opportunists by rivals, but history remembers them as icons. Because they climbed. This is their code. The forbidden map for women who refuse to stay small. Chapter 1. From Nobody. The climb begins with nothing, and that beginning is an advantage. The world tells women to accept their place, to stay grateful, obedient, humble. But the dangerous woman knows the truth. There is no fixed place. There are only steps, and every step can be climbed. The first rule is clarity. See yourself as the world sees you, invisible, underestimated, dismissed. Ordinary women hate this truth. Dangerous women embrace it, because invisibility is camouflage. When no one expects you, no one guards against you. History proves this again and again. Joan of Arc was a teenage peasant girl. She had no beauty to trade, no wealth, no noble blood, yet she convinced kings and generals to follow her. She rose from a village, nobody, to the commander of French armies. Men underestimated her until it was too late. Madame de Pompadour was the daughter of a butcher. Versailles should have spit her out as common. Instead, she became not only the mistress of Louis XV, but his most trusted advisor. She sat in council chambers, shaped foreign alliances, and left her imprint on the arts of France. She climbed so carefully that even her enemies had to bow. Wallis Simpson was an American divorcee mocked as scandalous. Yet she conditioned Edward VIII, the King of England, to surrender his throne for her. The British Empire bent around a woman it once dismissed as unworthy. The Bible teaches this: the climb begins not with privilege, but with being underestimated. You turn the insult into armor. You use invisibility as your disguise. Chapter 2. The First Rung. Attention. No one can climb without being seen, but attention earned through desperation is worthless. The ordinary woman chases. She talks too much, reveals too much, demands too much. She becomes noise. The dangerous woman does the opposite. She creates contrast. Where others rush, she slows. Where others chatter, she pauses. Where others reveal, she withholds. Attention is not stolen. It is trained. Versailles, the French court, was a battlefield of beauty. Women fought for the king's gaze with jeweled gowns, towering hairstyles, and endless chatter. Madame de Pompadour refused to compete. She chose muted tones in a sea of jewels. She moved with calmness in a court of frenzy. She rationed her words in a hall of noise. That contrast made her unforgettable. She did not chase Louis XV. She conditioned him to chase her. The lesson is timeless. Attention belongs not to the loudest, but to the rarest. The woman who withholds attention controls it. The woman who floods herself loses it. Chapter 3. The Ladder of Influence. Being seen is only the first step. The climb must continue. But it is not one leap. It is a ladder. The first rung is charm, but not charm wasted on everyone. Charm given sparingly. Charm makes people feel chosen, and choice creates devotion. The second rung is mystery. Ordinary women overshare. They tell everything in the hope of being trusted. Dangerous women reveal fragments. They let men wonder, imagine, and chase. Mystery fuels obsession. The third rung is scarcity. The ordinary woman is always available, always reachable, always desperate to please. The climber is not. She disappears. She withdraws. She makes her absence louder than another woman's presence. The fourth rung is alliances. No woman climbs alone. Allies open doors, shield her, and soften rivals. The dangerous woman builds allies while hiding her true ambition. Rivals believe they are safe until they realize she is already above them. Charm, mystery, scarcity, alliances. This is the ladder. The climb is never a reckless leap. It is deliberate, step by step. Chapter 4. The Masks of the Climber. Every climber must master masks. Sweetness masks steel. Innocence masks ambition. Grace masks calculation. Why? Because naked ambition in a woman provokes attack. Men resist it, rivals target it, but ambition cloaked in elegance disarms. Catherine de Medici wore the mask of refinement while weaving webs that ruled France for decades. Elizabeth I wore the mask of virgin purity while holding Europe in suspense, keeping princes competing for her hand. Grace Kelly wore the mask of innocence while rising from actress to princess of Monaco. Masks are not lies, they are weapons. Ordinary women believe authenticity means spilling everything. Dangerous women understand that power lives in performance. A mask is not false. It is armor. It is survival. Chapter 5. Case Study. Pompadour's Rise. No woman embodies the Bible like Madame de Pompadour. Born Jeanne-Antoinette Poisson, her birth should have doomed her, but she was prepared like a general for war. Her mother told her as a girl, "You will one day capture the king." Jeanne rehearsed for it. When she entered Versailles, she staged herself like theatre. Her entrances were rehearsed. Her gowns were chosen with precision. Her pauses were long enough to make men uneasy. Her silences forced others to reveal themselves. She rationed her intimacy with Louis XV. She never gave everything, and because she withheld, he remained devoted long after her beauty began to fade. Most mistresses vanished when youth slipped away. Pompadour expanded. She moved from the bedroom to the council chamber. She advised on politics, art, diplomacy. She became indispensable to the state itself. Even when she could no longer satisfy the king, she remained his confidant, his strategist, his partner. She climbed beyond mistress. She became untouchable. Her lesson: do not climb for love alone. Climb to become necessary. Love fades. Necessity endures. Chapter 6. The dangerous middle, rivals. Every climb attracts resistance. Rivals see your ascent and begin to whisper. Men who once ignored you now question your presence. Allies test their loyalty. This stage is the most dangerous. It is here that many women fall. The ordinary woman fights loudly. She begs for acceptance. She proves, explains, and defends. The dangerous woman does none of this. She remains calm. She lets rivals show their emotion while she reveals nothing. Detachment becomes her sharpest weapon. The courtesans of Venice were masters of this stage. In the glittering courts of Europe, they lived surrounded by rivals, wives, mistresses, and jealous courtiers. But they never fought directly. They smiled, charmed, and withdrew. Their rivals shouted themselves into ruin. The courtesans endured, untouched. Another example comes from the Japanese court of the Heian era. Noble women competed for influence with poems, gestures, and presence. Lady Murasaki, the author of The Tale of Genji, mastered restraint. She wrote quietly, observed carefully, and withdrew from open rivalry. Her silence outlasted her competitors. Her work became immortal, while theirs was forgotten. The dangerous middle is not one with noise. It is one with stillness. Rivals must never see you sweat. Chapter 7. Ritual as Armor. Climbers create ritual around themselves. Every action becomes deliberate. Ordinary women move casually, speak thoughtlessly, reveal too much. The climber does the opposite. She moves as though every gesture is ceremony. In Versailles, Pompadour's entrances were studied. She did not stumble into a room. She arrived. Her presence forced silence. In Renaissance Italy, courtesans cultivated ritual in everything, from the way they poured wine to the way they touched a letter. Each gesture became magnetic, because it looked deliberate. Ritual is not luxury, it is branding. When you treat yourself as sacred, others follow. Chapter 8. Control of perception. The Bible teaches that perception matters more than truth. You do not need to be the most beautiful, the most powerful, or the most wealthy. You need to be seen as such. Cleopatra understood this better than anyone. Roman writers mocked her, calling her manipulative and dangerous. Yet she built an image so irresistible that Julius Caesar and Mark Antony bent their empires around her. She turned appearances into weapons, arriving on gilded barges, perfumed, dressed as Isis reborn. She was not simply a woman, she was a living myth. Modern women can do the same. Fashion, silence, timing. These shape perception more than raw beauty. When you control perception, you control reality. Chapter 9. The Crown. Untouchable. What does it mean to be untouchable? It does not mean flawless beauty or endless wealth. Untouchable is the woman no one dares to cross, no one dares to forget. She has trained everyone, men, rivals, allies, to bend to her rhythm. Cleopatra became untouchable by weaving herself into Rome's most powerful men. Remove her, and the balance collapsed. Coco Chanel became untouchable by rewriting elegance. Her rivals could not erase her because the entire world adopted her code. Anna Wintour rules fashion with silence and icy boundaries. She does not argue, she withdraws. Editors, designers, billionaires, all bend to her. Untouchable is not about perfection, it is about control. Control of presence, control of boundaries, control of perception. Chapter 10. The Masks Revisited. The further you climb, the more important masks become. At the bottom, you can reveal fragments. At the top, you must reveal almost nothing. Consider Empress Dowager Cixi of China. She began as a low-ranking concubine. At first, she charmed with small gestures, but as she rose, she revealed less. She spoke less, showed less, but pulled more strings. She ruled behind curtains, literally. Her mask of invisibility made her reign longer and more secure than many emperors. Masks evolve as you climb. Early masks disarm. Later masks terrify. Chapter 11. Alliances and Betrayals. No woman climbs alone, but every alliance comes with risk. Catherine de Medici used marriages as weapons, placing her children on thrones across Europe. Her alliances bought her decades of power, but when betrayal came, she responded with cold precision. Her reputation as the Black Queen was born from her refusal to be naive. Dangerous women know that allies can turn into rivals. The Bible teaches this. Reward loyalty sparingly but powerfully. Withdraw instantly when betrayed. Never argue. Never beg. Consequences are enough. In modern terms, friendships, business connections, even romantic partners must be treated with strategy. Allies can raise you quickly, but a single betrayal, tolerated, can topple your climb. Chapter 12. Presence over words. Words fade. Presence lingers. Elizabeth I rarely shouted. She let silence build weight in council. Her pauses made men lean forward in unease. Then she would deliver one sharp sentence, and the matter was settled. Indira Gandhi of India ruled with the same method centuries later. Her soft voice disguised an iron will. Rivals underestimated her until it was too late. Her calmness made them appear chaotic. The Bible teaches that presence outweighs argument. The less you speak, the more others project power onto you. The more deliberate your silence, the more valuable your words become. Chapter 13. Absence as Strategy. Absence is one of the most powerful tools in the Bible. Ordinary women cling. Chapter 16. The Modern Manual. The Social Climber's Bible is not just history, it is a living code. The same laws that lifted queens and courtesans apply today, in business, in love, in society. The ordinary woman floods social media with endless photos, endless explanations, endless updates. She is everywhere, and therefore invisible. The dangerous woman appears rarely, with precision. She turns her posts into events. Scarcity makes her magnetic. The ordinary woman overshares with friends and lovers, believing honesty is trust. The climber reveals fragments. She speaks in pieces, lets curiosity do the rest. Mystery drives devotion. The ordinary woman reacts emotionally to disrespect. The climber acts strategically. She withdraws calmly, cuts ties without noise, enforces boundaries with action instead of arguments. In a modern world where attention is currency, mystery, scarcity, and ritual are more powerful than ever. Chapter 17. Environments as Weapons. Your environment is part of the climb. Old money families understood this. They curated spaces that trained outsiders to see them as superior. Everything, furniture, clothing, silence, was a symbol. The dangerous woman does the same. She curates her environment. Even if she has little, she arranges it with ritual. A single candle, a chosen perfume, a deliberate rhythm to her space. Environment trains perception. Perception shapes power. Chapter 18. The Psychology of Training. The Bible is not manipulation. It is conditioning. People treat you exactly how you train them to. Every silence you allow, every boundary you enforce, every reward you ration, it all teaches them how to behave. The ordinary woman trains people to neglect her. She accepts lateness, interruptions, crumbs of attention. She rewards mediocrity, and so she receives it. The climber trains people to rise. She withdraws when disrespected. She rewards only when earned. She rations approval until it is priceless, and so she is treated as rare. This is psychology disguised as femininity. Training is not cruelty. It is survival. Chapter 19. Case Study. Wallis Simpson. Wallis Simpson is perhaps the most controversial climber of the modern age. A twice-divorced American, she should have been dismissed by the British elite. Instead, she captured Edward VIII so completely that he abandoned his throne. How? By using scarcity and detachment. She never begged. She never appeared desperate. She cultivated an aura of being slightly out of reach. Edward pursued, obsessed, and finally surrendered his crown. The world called her scandalous. But history cannot erase the fact. A woman the establishment mocked bent the monarchy itself. Chapter 20. The Black Widow Strategy. The Bible contains a darker law, outlasting. Some climbers rise quickly and fall quickly, but the most dangerous women win by patience. They wait while rivals exhaust themselves. They let men destroy themselves with ego. They survive, silent, until the battlefield is empty. Empress Dowager Cixi survived multiple emperors, rival concubines, and endless plots. She waited, watched, and struck only when rivals were weak. She outlasted them all, ruling China from behind the curtain for decades. The Black Widow does not rush. She waits until the prey entangles itself. Chapter 21. The Siren's Playbook. Seduction without words is another law of the Bible. Cleopatra used perfume, music, and silence as much as conversation. Josephine used warmth and timing. Courtesans used glance, tone, and withdrawal. Seduction is not about beauty. It is about energy. The woman who radiates mystery, who withholds, who uses silence instead of chatter, can enslave without touching. The siren is not desperate. She is deliberate. Chapter 22. The Escalation. The Bible teaches escalation. Every stage of the climb prepares for the next. From invisibility to attention. From attention to influence. From influence to survival among rivals. From survival to becoming untouchable. At each stage, the climber tightens her control. She withholds more. She reveals less. She withdraws faster. She rewards more rarely. The ordinary woman fades because she never escalates. The dangerous woman sharpens her weapons with every rung. Chapter 23. Immortality. The final promise of the Bible is not just survival in life, but immortality in memory. Cleopatra remains a legend 2,000 years later. Chanel is still whispered as the code of elegance. Anna Wintour remains a symbol of fear and control. Pompadour's fingerprints linger in Versailles itself. These women climbed beyond wealth or beauty. They climbed into myth. Every woman climbs. Either she climbs consciously, or she trains others to climb over her. The ordinary woman hopes for recognition. The beautiful woman is admired briefly. But the dangerous woman climbs, step by step, mask by mask, until she becomes untouchable. Society pretends to despise climbers, but it worships them once they succeed. Nobody remembers the nice girl who stayed obedient. Everyone remembers the woman who rose from nothing and bent the world to her. Crowns are not given, they are taken, and the social climber's Bible is the forbidden map